this case, that this man was leading two different lives, cannot be trusted to be out on the street, and the judge agreed, at least for today. What was the reaction inside the courtroom when he presented this information about the sexting that was going on while his little boy was dying in the car outside?
It depends on who you are looking at. From the immediate family, that is his wife, and from the suspect himself, no real reaction. But from others, audible gasps could be heard, and it was stunning. You know, leading up to this hearing, there had been suggestions off the record that authorities were going to present evidence that not only would substantiate the claims that the DA has made, but also negate any reason for bond. That is clearly what has happened. Most of us thought that seemed a little too much, but now, having heard this testimony, it is just stunning. We were told to expect anything. What we heard was just stunning, stunning stuff, and it portrays an individual who, at least the DA is trying to claim, was involved in kind of an alternative lifestyle of sexting. He was sending pornographic images of himself to women at the time that his son is dying in the car. There were multiple objections by the defense saying, look, this has nothing to go to cause here. He may be perhaps immoral, but that doesn't mean that's why his son is dying in the car. He kept reiterating the defense, that is, that this was an accident, but it was damning stuff to be sure.
And Martin, just to recap for those who are just tuning in, the judge ruled that there is probable cause enough to go forward to trial and denied bond. The defense had asked for a $50,000 bond. Prosecution didn't want any bond at all. They were suggesting he was a flight risk, maybe.
Right, and going to the fact that they said, look, there's a guy who has apparently got multiple lives. Who knows what else he's been up to here? So if he feels like he was planning, as they suggest, he wanted to get rid of his son, he wanted to apparently separate from his marriage and go off and live with these women he was sexting with, then he might very well be a person who now decides he's got to cut and run. You heard family members and other friends called to the witness stand and say, no, he would not do that. It is just still amazing. Many people are having a hard time just sort of taking in all the evidence the DA brought out in this particular case, on top of saying, how could you forget a child that is 6 inches away from you, with whom you just had breakfast 2 minutes before? There's the common sense argument, and then there is this alternative lifestyle argument, and both were extremely powerful today.
And Marty, Ross Harris, the defendant, his brother testified today. His brother is a police sergeant and said that his brother had worked as a dispatcher. I suppose that the defense attorney, Mr. Kilgore, was trying to build a case that this is somebody with deep roots in the community who would never do such a thing and certainly would not flee, but that apparently did not work, at least not today.
No, and in fact, that could work against you, because you're also insinuating that Justin Ross Harris, the father here, had insights as to how police departments work, that he worked as a dispatcher. Some said he also worked in a jail, so that he would be aware as to how the early investigation might go, and that he could have somehow couched his reactions, his statements, his words, to try to cover up that this was an intentional act. Again, that's the DA. And in fact, when the officers started talking with him, they noted that he was using their jargon, their police phrasing. So you're right, it was the defense that was trying to say, look, his brother, half-brother, is a police officer. He will not run away. However, others might say, yeah, but this is a guy who knows a lot about how the police operate, and that just may not be good.
Martin Savage, thank you so much. And of course, the most important thing for us to remember is the victim in all of this, 22-month-old Cooper Harris. And our thoughts go to him and those who loved him. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come